good, family? It's Kudos, and in today's video I want to teach you guys how to use Power Automate Desktop to fill those web forms. Now before we get into the video, short disclaimer, whatever you do is on you feel me? Educational purposes only. With that being said, let's get into the video. So first things first is you want to make sure you like this video, subscribe, make sure you click that notification bell so you're notified when I drop more content, and also share this video with your peoples. Alright, another thing, shout out to my PR team, been killing it the past weeks. This is the deals we have currently. If y'all need PRs done, reach out to me. Telegram link will be in the description below. So you're going to need Google Chrome, Excel. You're going to have to create a Microsoft account because you're going to need that for Excel and for Power Automate Desktop. So get all three of those downloaded, pause the video, come back, follow along. All right. So once you have everything downloaded, you're going to be prompted with, the Power Automate home screen. You just want to click on My Flows. Obviously, you're not going to have no flows here. So you just want to create a new flow, and let's call it YouTube Kudos. Or you can call it like whatever website that you're automating. You want to, make that YouTube Kudos. All right, boom. So it's going to open up, I call it the workstation. So the flow is going to, it's going to open that up. Boom. First thing I like to do, I like to set a variable for the form, basically the URL automating on. Okay, so I just set this to form URL. Okay, and in this box we're going to paste in the URL from the website that we're going to use, and in this video we're going to use listyourself.net. Okay, so it's a good website to begin this journey with you guys with, because you already know what's good. Educational purposes only. And real quick, I will show you and it works perfectly for the listyourself.net. Educational purposes only. It's a legitimate website for the public records and tri-merging. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is the launch. Sorry about that. So launch Excel. Okay, so we basically want to read the data from the Excel to pass it to the form that we're filling out. Okay, so we want to, by default, it's set with a blank document. We don't want that. We want to and open the following document. Okay, and then you want to navigate to your Excel. So just create a blank Excel worksheet, and I will show you the content that you will need within it. Okay, so mine is saved on the desktop, and it's Kudos example, and I'm going to save it there. So real quick, I'm going to show you guys what that example looks like. Okay, so this is the information that will be passed and read from and sent to the website. Okay, so pause the video here and make sure your Excel spreadsheet looks the same or similar. Okay, now that you got that, we'll close that out. And if I'm going too fast, pause the video. That way you're not lost in the sauce. Okay. All right. So once you have the Excel spreadsheet, formatted the way how I do, the next step is we want to read Excel spreadsheet. Okay, read from the Excel spreadsheet, and we want to leave that by default. Okay, and we want to use a range, so value from a range of cells. Okay, and we're going to start from A1 to AZ2, and I'll show you what that means later, but basically just reading the data that's on the form, and I just put the extra there, so whatever data is there, it can pass. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to close the Excel spreadsheet. So once we read it, we want to close it. We don't want to keep it up. Now we want to launch Chrome. So now you can use these other browsers, but I'm just more familiar with Chrome. So this, stick with me with the Chrome. And then we're going to use the variable that we set earlier. Okay. That way we don't have to paste that URL in this section. Okay. And in this window state, we don't want it to be normal. We want it to be maximum when that page opens. So you got your advanced tab. You can clear cache when it opens, clear cookies when it opens, things like that. But we're just going to leave those as is, and we're just going to save it. Okay. So now that we have that, we're going to do something called for each. So basically it's saying for each field that we have, we want the current item from the Excel data to be passed over. Okay. So the current item and the Excel data to be passed over to the website. So I'm going to run it from here so y'all can see the data populated over here in the flow variables. Okay. So now you see it over here, and we have to stop it. Okay, so it did that because I launched the Chrome thing. So let me just put a little pause right there. Launch the Chrome. I should be able to view this now. Perfect. So this is the information that will be passed or be read from this form, but it's going to look for these identifiers here and pass this information to the field. Okay, so yours should look like mine or similar. Obviously, you're going to have different information, but yeah, so that's that. And we're going to stop that, and we're going to continue with what's next. So next thing I would like to do is I would like to add a wait for page content to load. So basically wait for page content. Okay. And I will, so right here in this section it says the UI element. It's basically saying, what element do you want to click on, or wait for before you do your automations. Okay. So I typically use the logo, the page's logo, or I go with the form fields. So I'm just going to use the form fields because this is pretty much never going to change. This is never going to change, right? You want to get something that's consistent, that's never going to change. So what you want to do is hold the control button and the right click. Okay, control, right click, and save it. You're basically saying wait for this to happen, and then it's going to do the other tasks that we tell it to do. And the next thing we're going to tell it to do is we're going to make it press a button on the page to activate the automations in a sense, because we want the page, we want the Power Automate to know where it's at and what it's doing. So we're going to make it click on this text field or this field here for the phone number. So same thing, control, and right click, save it. Okay, and then next thing is we want to populate text. We're going to add text to that field. So we're going to just click on it, drag and drop. So click on text box, add UI element, and we want this element here. Wait for it to load, and then in this box here, I'm just going to use my trusty code. Better yet, no, I'm just going to just type it. I'm going to use a different code here. So I'm going to use 2% signs, and you're going to want to type current, sorry about that, current item, okay, super X, parentheses, okay. And then you want to put in phone number. This is what information we want to pass to the phone, and we want to save that, okay. So real quick, I'm going to test it and see where we at so far. And it crashed because phone number property is not found. So it can be two things. Let's look at our Excel spreadsheet to make sure that we have the phone number spelled exactly how they have it or how I have it. And it's phone number space space. Let's check the code. Yeah, it's phone number. So let's see, because it was doing this earlier. Column of property, phone number not found. Okay, let's see. One more section right here. I'm going to look at so basically what I did was from the read from Excel worksheet, click the advance and then click first line of range content contains column names. So that's what we want to click on. So let's see if that works real quick. If not, then it's something else. Okay, so that worked. So it's crazy. It didn't require me to do that last time, but this is all that comes with the programming or the automation. It's gonna have troubleshooting things. So this is why I kept that in the video, so you can troubleshoot if you have that issue as well. Okay, and then also with the current items, you should see the same identifiers in a sense up at the top that we're going to be using to pass to the other fields. Okay, so phone number, we have that. So now we're going to do the first name. So we're going to use populate text again. I'm just going to use the same. I'm just going to Control C and Control V. And by the way, this is only for Windows users. For Mac, I have to come up with another tutorial for you guys, and I have other automations that will work for Mac. So if you need that, comment below. We need that Mac video. Kudos, and I will get that done for you guys. All right. So this one we're going to use first name. Save it, and I'll test it later. We just want to get all these fields configured right now just to speed things up. Okay, so last name, country, we're gonna leave default because everyone's in the United States. That we will use. So with the automate, it's kind of funny when it comes to the drop downs. So I'll just use it as buttons. So I'll make it click it, and then I make it click on the item that I want. Yeah, I had to do shortcuts with that one. But that's that. So we just leave that alone. So we're gonna go to the street address. Okay. And we're gonna just name this address. And I think I skipped a step. So we got to configure these fields. So let me just get the address real quick, and then the last name, because I don't think I did it, but let's just do it anyway. So you want to hit Control and right click, and let me just grab that first name just in case if I didn't do it. Okay, perfect. And then we want to get the city, state, and the zip. I'm gonna copy this 3 times. I'm gonna change this to city. Grab that box for city, and I want to do the state. So this will actually be state. Sorry about that. State A for abbreviation, and on the Excel spreadsheet, that's what I use because in this field they require the abbreviation for the state. And let me make sure that I grab that the URL element. Perfect. And then this one is the zip code. So I grab this and it'll just be zip. Might have capitalized it, might have not. I probably didn't capitalize it. So let me just leave it. Nah, I probably capitalized it. And we will grab that element. Perfect. And then we're going to grab 2 more for the email section. Okay. Actually, we could just grab, no, we got to grab 2. So that's the email for the first one. And email for the second one. Okay. And remember, it's just Control and right click. That's all we do in there. And let's test it real quick so we can see, because not too sure what the Excel spreadsheet look like. So kudos. And last name crashed. And when you see something like that, that means it crashed. Obviously, it has the crash right here. Let's look at our code. So you see it. It doesn't have a space. So it needs to be the same as our see something for our variables and the current item. It needs to have that same spelling, right? And then remember with zip, it was a capital, email was a capital. So we got to fix those. And city was a capital if I didn't use that. So let's do those now. So email, capital E, and the email, capital E. And let's put that space in between last name. And then let's run it again. Perfect. Perfect. Email. Sweet. So we just close that now because we don't need that for right now. And we could use, an old tab that had the website in it so we can finish configuring everything. So the next thing is the add press button. Okay. So we're going to use UI element drop down and add UI element. Okay. So it's going to click the button. So we're going to save that, and we want to wait for this content right here to load. So wait for page content to load, and I have a good feeling what's going to happen, but I want y'all to see this because it is good. It's good for training. So that way when you encounter this, when you're doing it for your websites that you want to do, you will know how to troubleshoot, or you'll know where to look. But if you need assistance with, doing websites, I can help you out, maybe $1, $2, $3, $5, depending on the website. All right, so it worked. So we got here, and the next, the next portion of the automation is we're going to click this button here, so that way, the individual can get an email sent to them, because obviously we can't automate the phone calling. So let's go back to our Power Automate, and what we're going to do is we're going to just add a button. I'm going to take this one, Control C and Control V, and then add that to the bottom. And I'm just going to double click on that, the UI element, add element, and then I am going to Control and left click on that and save it. So now if we run the code, it works perfectly. So we clicked on that button way too quick for us to even acknowledge it, but this is obviously the ending point of the automation. But what I will do is I'll go back to the code real quick, and I'll just add a wait time. In here, maybe 2 seconds, and then click the button. So once you have all that, we just want to save it, and then we can run it again. And there we go. It waited the 2 seconds, and then it clicked the button. But yeah, I appreciate y'all watching the video. If you liked the video, please subscribe. Please like and comment below. This helped, this didn't help. Hey, I need PRs. Reach out to me, reach out to my team. My @handles right here. Also, I will drop, the links in the description below. Tap in with me. Appreciate y'all for rocking with me. One love. Peace, peace.